What if Elrond was in the Fellowship of the Ring? It is the third part of the series, and this might be my favorite one yet. It's a bit of a shorter part. Obviously, in a few days, maybe next week, the finale will be out, where we will be seeing the fate of the world, of how much it would change. So much changes in this, and we will be starting with a recap, but I'm just so excited for this, and let's get into the video, guys. Okay, we're going to start with a quick recap. Down in the comments, I'll probably put when the recap is over. So firstly, Isengard still gets destroyed, and the Battle of Helm's Deep, it is still a victory, but a lot more casualties happen, since because of the last events, both Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are not at Helm's Deep, which I will explain in a second, which causes a lot more casualties. In this case, Boromir does still get shot by Lurtz, but only one arrow hits him. And since Elrond is in the Fellowship at this time, Boromir does survive. And by the way, the two other episodes will be down in the comments below, and this will make way more sense if you go watch that. So yeah, Boromir only gets shot once, and Elrond manages to heal him, but he's not in great shape. So he goes to Gondor, with Elrond, by the way. So the three hunters, which is Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli, by the way, also go with Frodo and Sam to Mordor after the Fellowship splits on one hand. Obviously, Frodo and Sam still go to Mordor because the ring bearer and Sam is obviously a key part of that. So yeah, they of course still go, and everything there will go more or less the same, and they find their way there. And yeah, Boromir does go to Gondor with Elrond, and in this case, I think just a little bit he managed to convince Denethor to what do you call it? Yeah, him and Elrond convinced Denethor to let Aragorn be king. Maybe he's not completely convinced yet, but we will see. And Denethor is very convinced that he maybe needs to call on Rohan if a battle happens, which is obviously what this video is going to be about. So we'll get back to that in a second. Yeah, so Denethor is a little bit skeptical, but he thinks, yeah, okay, well, we'll see. So yeah, I do think that is a way better relationship, since Boromir is 9, he's not mad of grief and so on, and then Gandalf doesn't go to Gondor. Merry and Pippin then does go to Gondor though, after the Battle of Helm's Deep, which they go to, which you will understand in the previous events. Basically, they still go to the rousing of the Ents, just in a bit of a different way, because Gandalf also goes with him in this case, because he never dies. Gandalf never dies to the Balrog, so it's still Gandalf the Grey. Maybe I should have mentioned that, but yeah. So basically, Merry and Pippin will make their way there. Gandalf has just found the Fellowship near Mount Doom. He sets off at the end of the last one to try and find them, and a few months later, he manages to find Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, and he will be a huge help making the way across Mordor. And Smeagol is much nicer now, because I think Gandalf will treat him nice, and I think Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas, and Frodo all treat him nice. Sam still hates him, but yeah, look at that cute picture. Ain't that cute? I don't even know where that is from, but yeah, I think Smeagol Gollum is much nicer this time, and his Smeagol side is a bit more apparent. So basically, when Denethor and Elrond and those people realize in Gondor that there might be attack from Minas Morgul, they do light the beacons of Minas Tirith, so to call for Rohan's aid. And by the way, guys, at the Redhorn Pass, because Elrond sent them back a few days earlier, we are about 20 days beforehand. So that means both armies have a lot more time to get there, which means Rohan easily makes it to Gondor about 10 days early. So yeah, they make it. The Rohirrim are there. I think there's only about 4,000 of them, because their total army will only be about 10,000 instead of 12,000. So if they send about 4,000 of their army, I think that's about fair. So I think that's likely the amount of Rohirrim that they sent, but it's a huge help. But obviously the ghosts, the ghosts don't come. The Oathbreakers are not taken by Aragorn, because Aragorn is in the Fellowship. So there are no Oathbreakers to win the battle, but the Oathbreakers don't just delete things in real life. They're actually just ghosts in the book, not in the real one. And this time the Corsairs can actually make it to help with the Witch King's army. And also the Grey Company, which is another reinforcements that Aragorn brings in the initial one, can't come to help Minas Tirith, because Aragorn is obviously in the Fellowship. This makes a big difference. And then when Denethor and Elrond realize that Minas Morgul has set their attack, they realize they are in big trouble. But then, when all hope is lost, Elrond decides to make a big move. He calls on the elves of Thranduil, Rivendell, and Galadriel at Lothlorien. Lothlorien, of course, accepts and sends a huge army of elves. Just makes it before the battle. But Rivendell does send a small amount of elves, including both Elrond's sons and Glorfindel. Glorfindel being one of the most powerful elves in all of the Third Age, and even before then. And Rivendell does send a few, as I said. And the Woodland Realm, Thranduil is reluctant, but then he does come with about 500 of his elves. But he does tell Elrond that if any serious danger that would to himself happens, that he will retreat. So I do basically think that that would just be what Thranduil does. He's not quite worth it for him. And of course he has to leave his army behind because he knows that Sauron's probably going to attack his city as well. And he cares a lot more about them than other ones. But basically, the elves from Lothlorien just about make it and the battle starts. The Battle of Minas Tirith. It happens about the same rate as the previous one. But by the time the Haradrim arrive, they are just a little bit behind, even with the Rohirrim and the elves' the help. They had just lost the castle, although they are still fighting in the inner walls, and it doesn't seem quite lost yet, and they are still in danger, but they are just holding on. In this case, the Rohirrim can't quite surround them, but the Rohirrim still do a great job to try their best to save. But they are obviously defending in this case, so it's a little bit less powerful, I think. So basically, they are struggling, but then the other elves arrive with the help of a lot of powerful elves. But the battle is a little closer now, but it just seems like they're fighting a losing battle, so this is very difficult. The elven archers and Thranduil and all of those people are a huge help, but it will still be an absolutely massive struggle. But when Thranduil arrives, obviously there's a huge help. Thranduil is very powerful, even if he isn't magical. He's very strong and he's obviously immortal and so on. And so when it really does seem like all hope is lost, when the Witch King steps forward and starts just absolutely destroying everyone, and it doesn't seem like there's any chance, and targets some of the most powerful people, and they are fighting a losing battle because there's no Gandalf the White this time. Usually Gandalf the White would fight the Witch King and hold him off, but Gandalf the White is in the Fellowship of the Ring. But in that moment, Elrond and Thranduil step together, separating their differences of not always liking each other, against the Witch King, and the battle commences. It is a very tight battle. Of course, only one of them against the Witch King would not be close at all, but these two are the most powerful elvish kings of the Third Age, and it is very close. But just when it seems they are going to lose, Boromir rushes from the back with the Barrow Blade, which breaks the Witch King's curse of not being able to die, and stabs him in his back. And there, the Witch King of Angmar dies to the blade of Elrond, and the prophecy is still fulfilled, because Elrond's elf. Not by the hand of man will he fall. He is no man. Guys, that is it for the video. That is the Battle of Pelennor Fields. Please go check the previous ones down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time in the final part of this series, number 4.